You're listening to the Life Coaching Secrets Podcast, episode number 73. Did you know that life coaches are needed now more than ever? I'm Frank Macri, founder of Thriving Coach Academy. I've trained over 1,000 coaches and helped them launch their own successful coaching businesses. If you want to make an incredible income and impact as a coach and have a lot of fun doing it, I'll show you exactly how to get it done. This is Life Coaching Secrets. What's up, coaches? In today's episode, I'm going to talk about what it means to have a hobby versus a business. This is a big one, a juicy one, if I may add. I want to give a quick shout out to one of our newest graduates, Joshua, who just recently enrolled his very first paying client, and charged high ticket for the paying client, which is awesome. So big congrats to Joshua on the beginning success of your business. And for sure, we know this is just the beginning for you. All right, so let's go into this topic. This is one that we go a lot deeper into with our coaches in the academy. And the inspiration for this episode really came from the initial years that I was running my business. And I realized that when I got started as a coach, I talked very casually about my life coaching business with people. And I wondered why people weren't taking me seriously as a life coach. And I realized in retrospect, it was because I wasn't taking my coaching business seriously. And then I shifted the way that I approached my business and talked about it, and people began to take it seriously. So this will be very helpful for you if you wonder how people will take you seriously as a life coach. And even if you notice currently that some people are not really taking your life coaching business so seriously. It does not mean that people don't want to hire life coaches. It doesn't mean that the industry isn't real. It is for sure real. It's a multi-billion-dollar a year industry, and it's only exploded, especially since the pandemic. So people are hiring coaches. It's really about you knowing how you're approaching your business and shifting that. Now, as a new business owner, you probably will treat your business like a hobby, even unintentionally. And one of the things to know is that when you treat your business like a hobby, it'll cost you like a hobby. When you treat your business like a business, it'll pay you like a business. So I'll say that one more time. When you treat your business like a hobby, it'll cost you like a hobby. Treat your business like a business, and it'll pay you like a business. So coaching is not some kind of fairy tale land. It's not just this imaginary dream career that doesn't really exist. It is just as legitimate as any other industry and any other business. We have people in the academy who are transitioning out of engineering jobs and careers as lawyers to become life coaches. And this is happening more and more commonly these days. So it is your responsibility to treat your coaching like a business. And if you don't treat it like a legitimate business, how can you expect any other person to treat it as such? So one of the things to start out with is noticing the thoughts you have about you running a business. Because a lot of people begin thinking, well, I'm new, I'm not a real business owner. And once you start thinking thoughts like that, you're going to start feeling discouraged, and you're going to start questioning your decisions. And you may even start spiraling into confusion and wonder, what am I doing? Or am I even really good enough for this? Or I feel like a total fraud. This seems like such a long shot to have a coaching business. And when you start having all of this confusion and doubt come up, you end up hiding. You end up keeping your message, your offers, your value, your story away from people. And that is what diminishes the success in your business when you start having those thoughts to begin with, okay? So what does it really mean to have a hobby versus have a business? I want to share with you the differences between the two of those so you can assess for yourself right now. Are you treating your coaching as a hobby, or are you treating it as a business? And by the end of this episode, my invitation for you is to do one thing differently that's going to push you further towards treating your coaching like a business instead of a glorified hobby. Okay, so let's start out with difference number one. The first difference is that A hobby is something that you do solely for enjoyment. It's something you do just for fun, just for pleasure. It's just for funsies, okay? Now, does that mean that if you run a business, you can't have fun? Absolutely not. It doesn't mean that. You can absolutely make money and have fun while doing it. In fact, I think the more fun you have, the more money you're going to make because people are attracted to fun people. Okay, a lot of times people enroll in the academy because they're like, it looks like you all are having a fun time in that training, and we are. A lot of our coaches have said they've never laughed so much in a classroom setting, which is awesome. So when you run your business, you're able to have fun and you make money. When you're having a hobby, that's something you just do for fun or for pleasure, okay? So a business is something that requires that you make an income. It requires that you generate money in order for it to be a business, okay? So it's something that you do to earn a profit. Now, I know that it sounds very obvious, but if you are not making offers to people, right? If you're not talking with people about your life coaching, you're not inviting them to work with you, then you may be running a hobby right now. You may be running a hobby. The way that you make money is you ask people to pay you money and you have a way to receive money. Okay, so right now, I want you to really think about it. If someone were to have an interest in your coaching, do you know what you charge? Do you have a way to receive money if they wanted to send it to you, aside from cash, right? Aside from check? Now, if you don't have any idea what to charge, go listen to my episode on what to charge as a life coach, episode number 69, and go figure that out right now. And if you don't have a way to accept money, then don't wait for someone to come up to you and say, hey, I want to hire you, and then figure it out. Create it right now, right? You can just, as simple as setting up a PayPal account or just having some kind of way for people to transfer money to you. Okay, this is a way for you to start treating your coaching like a business, not a hobby. Imagine if someone wants to hire you and they say, oh, okay, so you're charging $2,000. Sure, let's get started. How do I pay you? And imagine if you said, well, I don't know. I need to set that up, right? That immediately diminishes your credibility and it doesn't make people want to treat you seriously because you're not treating your business seriously. You're not treating it like a business, okay? So sometimes people say, well, I don't want to do coaching for the money. I just want to help transform people's lives. And this is a really big block that some people have. And I want to talk about it a little bit. So you might have this concern. You might have a part of you that feels obligated to say, well, I'm not really doing this for the money. I'm doing it to help people. That's great. That's wonderful. But you can do things for the money and you can do things to help people at the same time. They are not exclusive desires. So I invite you to consider that you can do both. You can care deeply about helping people and you can care deeply about making a ton of money. And you must care about both of those things deeply if you want to run a business. That's what a business is. You must do a business to earn money. Money is the oxygen of a business. But that doesn't mean you don't care any less about people. So I invite you to stop saying things like, well, I don't really care about the money. I'm not doing it for the money. If you are running a business, then you absolutely must do it for the money because that's the oxygen of your business. That's what it requires. And it still means that you care deeply about people. In fact, I would go as far to say that when you do charge and when you charge a premium, you're actually offering people a decision that they will take more seriously and invest with deeper intention and commitment to getting the results they want. So if you care about people, then the best thing you can do to show your care for people is by charging and not charging cheap for your coaching. Because what you charge, when people pay, they pay attention, right? Think about things you've invested a higher amount in. You took those things more seriously. You took greater care of those things. And what you're allowing people to do with your coaching is invest in themselves and take greater care of themselves and take their life more seriously. That's a form of care. That's a form of love that you have for people. So when our coaches charge high ticket, right, they feel good about it because they know that so in the past when I've charged high ticket and a premium for my coaching, I didn't feel bad about it. I felt good about it because I know that people were making a great investment in themselves and they're up-leveling their life through coaching. They're prioritizing themselves. And by making this investment, it's giving them a space to do that. Maybe for the first time in their life, really making it a generous investment in themselves. Okay, so you can absolutely do it for the money and for your care for other people. Those are not mutually exclusive things. And if you have some guilt around charging people, I invite you to check out my episode on the podcast called Money Guilt, episode number 66. We'll have a lot more insight how to break that down if you're struggling to make money and you have some guilt around it. All right, so that's difference number one. A hobby is just something you do for fun, for funsies, and a business is something you do for money and also for fun. Difference number two is that a hobby is something you can pick and choose when you want to do that hobby. You do it whenever you feel like it. A business doesn't work that way. If you only choose to show up to your business when you feel like it or when you feel inspired or when you feel happy, then you're going to struggle. A business is something you must show up to even when you don't feel like it, right? You must show up to your business even when you might not always feel like it. Okay, like sometimes I don't feel inspired to post a podcast episode, but I do it anyway because I care more about the value it provides for people than about me indulging in my own emotions and only doing things when I feel like doing them. So a business has structure to it, right? You have things you do even when you don't feel like it. If you try to run your business the same way you run the hobbies in your life, you're going to get yourself into trouble, right? If you only talk about your business when you feel like talking about your business, or post about it or network about it when you feel cool doing it or inspired, you're going to get yourself into trouble. So when you're doing some kind of a hobby, you can just give up when things get tough and when things get stressful, right? There's no cost of doing that. You just stop. So it's very conditional. You just do it when you feel like it. With your business, you don't want to treat it with that same type of conditional approach. So a lot of coaches have conditions that they've put on their business without even realizing it. For example, you might think, I'm only going to commit to my coaching business if I make $100,000 by the end of the year. So that is a conditional statement. It is, I'm only going to do it if this happens. That's called conditional commitment. I'm only going to do blank if I get blank result by blank time. So where do you have some unspoken expectations or rules around your coaching business? Because your expectations are going to create a lot of stress and pain for you. And what I invite you to do is remove those conditions that you have around your coaching business. Right? One of the things I would tell myself is, because I used to put these conditions on myself, I'd say, I better make $10,000 this month. Otherwise, I'm going to stop. And then I would coach myself through that. And I thought, I'm going to stop, but where else do I need to be? What else would I be doing with my life? This is my calling. This is what I want to pursue. So I'm willing to show up even when it's hard, even when it gets difficult, even when I don't feel like it. What conditions might you have around your coaching business right now or your desired coaching business? Because I know some of you listening are at that tipping point, that turning point where you're getting ready to jump in. You might already have some expectations around your business, like I'm only going to do it for a year. And if I don't see results, I'm out. So you want to spot those conditions so that way you don't feel terrible every step of the way, okay? So no only ifs or I'm only going to do it when I feel a certain way. That's all conditions that are going to slow down your progress. You want to have unconditional commitment to your coaching business. You want to show up to it even when you don't feel like it. And the way you do that is you remind yourself, this is what I'm born to do. This is what I'm here for. I'm here to stay, right? So that is the second difference between a hobby and a business. A hobby is something you do only when you feel like it. You stop when you want to. A business, you keep going. You stay on the train. You're allowed to run all the way to the back of the train. You're allowed to run to the caboose, but you stay on that train. You keep it moving forward, even when you don't always feel like it. And moments when you don't feel like it, that's totally normal. It's normal to sometimes not feel like it. That doesn't mean that it's not your calling or your path. Like, for example, maybe you want to get in better shape and you don't always feel like, maybe you don't always feel like going to the gym, but you go to the gym anyway. right? Or you don't always feel like eating a healthy meal, but you do it anyway. Okay, so this is about honoring your highest vision, the highest version of yourself and who you know you're born to be. And when you're willing to honor that, you will see your coaching business explode and really take off. You will see that it will no longer be some kind of hobby you just do here and there or on the side, but it's something that you show up to and devote yourself to no matter what. Now, when you hear words like commitment and devotion, it doesn't mean that you drop everything else in your life to do it. That's another myth people have around commitment. They think, well, I only can do this if I'm 100%. And I tell a lot of our coaches, as long as you're going 1% more each week or each day, that is commitment. You don't need to be 100% committed to your coaching business and neglect every other area of your life in order to be successful. Just keep focusing on that 1% shift, that 1% forward. Okay, so the third difference between a hobby and a business is the way you talk about it. This is really big. So with a hobby, you will talk about your hobbies very casually. Okay, you'll probably use what I call wishy-washy language and have wishy-washy energy around it because it's just a hobby, right? So I have episode 56 on this podcast is called Wishy-Washy Energy, where I talk deeper into this concept I came up with. Now, with your business, it's not something you talk about casually. You cannot talk about your coaching business casually and expect people to pay you. You must talk about your business intentionally, not casually, not wishy-washy. Wishy-washy language is saying, well, I'm kind of doing this coaching thing, or, I'm just like starting out this coaching business, or I'm just kind of figuring out what I want to do as a coach. That's all very wishy-washy. It's very blah, and like you're just not taking it seriously. Don't talk casually about your coaching business. You don't want to say things like, yeah, it's just this thing I'm trying out, just exploring it. You want to present yourself to people as the coach, as a professional, okay? So when you're making offers to people, it's not just like cute ideas. You're making real offers to make real transformation in real people's lives. This is not some kind of act or charade or facade. This is the real deal. These are people's lives. These are people's goals and dreams. And you're here to make a real difference in their lives. Okay? And you want to convey that in your tone, in your energy, in how you show up. Right? When you're networking, when you're talking with people about coaching, they're going to respond to the energy that you put out there. So when I would do a lot of public speaking and workshops, and I noticed that when I'd speak about my offers and coaching programs with conviction, people responded with conviction in themselves, and they would say yes and sign up and work with me. Okay? So you want to show up with intentionality, treat your business like a business, and it's going to pay you like a business, right? So when you talk with people and you say, yeah, I run a coaching business, and they say, what, really? Yes, this is my business. This is the work I do. I love doing this work. I love supporting people. Present yourself as a business owner. And you can do this even if you're not making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month yet. It's okay. Still show up. I want you to show up as if you knew that there were 1,000 ready clients out there ready to work with you. Just show up as if they're out there, and you know they're out there, and they're just looking for you. You must be presenting yourself as the coach to people. Not a coach. I like to tell our instructor coaches to present yourself as the coach. Rather than I'm a life coach, I'm the life coach for executive women. I am the life coach for single gay men, right? Hear the power of that. Who are you the life coach for? Go out and tell people about that. Make real offers to help them that you're excited about, that you know will make a difference in their lives. Now, the last difference between a hobby and a business is a hobby, you really don't have to invest much into it if you don't want to, right? You really don't have to. Yes, there are expensive hobbies out there. Like, for example, I love board gaming. Board gaming can really stack up. The board games these days, especially the really good juicy ones that I like, the strategy games, a single board game can be $100 just for a board game. Very different from, Monopoly and Clue and Sorry and all these classic games that we might know from several decades ago. But anyway, when it comes to your business, you don't really have the option around if you want to invest in it or whether or not it's worth it. You must be willing to invest in your business. You must be willing to sometimes have good kind of debt that you take on in order to grow your business. So I have an episode on the podcast where I talk about the difference between good debt and bad debt. It's episode 64. Okay, you must be willing to take on good debt and invest in your vision, invest in your business. Rather than trying to run your whole business for free, which is really, it's kind of like just having a hobby, but trying to make it seem like a business. There are investments you're going to make in your business. There are expenses you're going to have. You're going to need to hire different softwares to keep especially if you're running your business online. And yes, we're going to help you with all of that and figuring all that out in the academy, so you don't have to navigate that by yourself. We give you a whole list of recommended softwares and programs and applications that you can use to get your business up and running very quickly. The point is, you want to have that willingness to invest in your business and know that that is important and necessary, and every single business has investments. Eventually, when you grow and scale, you'll invest in perhaps an executive assistant to help you out, and you may even grow your business, grow a team to help you out. This is all an investment you make in your business, and this is very important to have, okay? So those are the differences between having a hobby and having a business. So check in with yourself right now. How much have you been treating your coaching as a hobby? How much have you been treating it like a business? And what is one thing you can do today to treat your coaching a little bit more like a business and a little bit less like a hobby? All right, that's what I got in this episode. Before we go, I'm going to include a short snippet of one of our coaches, one of our real life coaches who went through Thriving Coach Academy, to share a bit about their experience, their journey, and share some tips with you for your success. Thanks for tuning into this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.
My name is Leah Tagliarino. I have been working in digital marketing, doing search engine optimization. Thus far in my career, I didn't feel personally fulfilled. I didn't feel like I could totally show up authentically. I didn't feel like I could, really help people the way that I wanted to. I was really looking for something that would allow me the flexibility and freedom that I want in my life, but also be personally meaningful to me. And so it was actually my therapist who suggested to me life coaching. I had never heard of it, and she thought that might be a good fit. And did a lot of research and discovered Thriving Coach Academy. I looked at a lot of programs. I scoured the ICF website, and what really drew me to the academy was the balance between it being self-paced, but also there being a community and there being live classes. A lot of the other programs I found were either or. It was like, multiple hours of live classes a week, which was a little bit too much for me, or totally self-paced, which, I wanted to connect with other coaches and have sort of a balance. So I felt like the academy was the perfect balance of that. The academy is full of really passionate people who are really excited to, get the most out of life. And it's really exciting to be in that space. I feel like my decision to enroll in the academy was one of the first times I've really invested in myself that strongly. And so definitely there was some hesitation, some financial hesitation, am I going to, what's the ROI on this? Am I going to get, is this going to be a waste of money? All those kinds of thoughts, what if I don't do anything with this? And ultimately really came to the decision of it was something I wanted to do for myself. Prior to joining this academy, even just raising my hand to participate on a group call is something I would have never done. So that feels like a big win for me personally. And I have my first client. So a woman I'll be working with. And I felt very prepared for that and really excited. I see myself having a successful business where I can make the income that I want through coaching. And work for myself, which is something that I've always wanted to do, be my own boss and do things, authentically to myself the way that I want to do them. And I'm really excited to have that impact on people. Even just, I get excited to have conversations with people and to coach. So the idea of waking up and just doing that every day is very exciting to me. If you're considering the Academy, I would definitely encourage you to enroll. It is paced in a way that is very open to, whatever speed you want to go at and whatever level you want to jump in at. I had never heard of life coaching really and never had done any coaching prior to joining the Academy. And now I feel great when I end sessions. And so I think it's a great program and definitely awesome for anyone who wants to build the life that they want.
Hey, would you like access to powerful coaching tools you can use on yourself and clients right away? For being a listener of the podcast, I'm giving you a VIP guest pass to get a sneak peek into my coach training program. Inside, you'll learn our coaches' secret tool they use to transform their clients' lives. And you'll also get a training on how to launch a coaching business. Just head over to www.thrivingcoachacademy.com/VIP to get started. I'll see you on the inside.